One of the first things that parents always ask me when they bring their kid into my office is, what am I going to do when he hits? And I would really rather they ask that question a different way. I would rather have you ask me, what am I going to do when he's not hit? I'll have my client, I'll have my kid come over here and sit with me, and we're going to do, I'm going to use one of these. This is a 1 to 5 scale, and I'm going to say, because it's really hard for kids to come in and talk about this stuff, all right? So it's a lot easier if we start with giving them something that they can do without having to talk a lot. So I'm going to say, all right, Miles, this is a 1 to 5 scale, okay? Do you know these numbers?
Yes.
Say it.
1, 2,
good,
3,
great,
4,
you got it,
and 5.
Excellent. All right. So I'm asking him questions that I know he knows the answers to. If I've got a kid that's a little bit defensive or resistant to coming in, this is a really good way to start. I ask him questions that are real easy for him to answer, and I say they're doing really good, and I get him in the habit of, feeling like they're doing the right thing and that they can get the answers right. This is easy. I got this. So now look here at the numbers that we've got, and a 1 says, what does a 1 mean here?
I can handle this.
Good. And then a 2?
This might make me feel uncomfortable.
Great. And a 3?
This could make me really nervous.
Excellent.
This can make me mad.
Great. And then they have a dad down there. What does dad have to be stressed out about? I love this one.
This team he wants this certain team to win.
Yeah, he's getting stressed out about his football game. Mm-hmm. While mom is in there with the baby and the dinner and the... Yeah, that's good. You can be honest about these things. And then what happens if we go all the way to a 5 here? What happens at the very worst? When Miles is really, really angry, what would we see him doing?
Probably smashing what he was angry at.
Okay, smashing. So Miles, here's where it gets tricky, okay? What does it feel like when you're getting angry? What happens inside your body?
Well,
does your stomach feel like it's twisting?
Yeah.
Does it feel like your heart's going to explode? Does it feel
Yeah.
like your eyeballs are popping out? Does your skin feel itchy? Does your face feel hot?
Yeah, my face feels hot.
All of those things?
No.
Oh, face feels hot. Okay, good. He could play baseball. This kid really loves baseball, so if he goes and plays baseball, he's going to feel a lot better. At a 7, he can relax and think. At an 8, he could read a book. Is this making sense to you guys? So you can either write words or you can draw pictures. To sum up what I want you to understand about anger and aggression in children. First of all, you've got to figure out what is the right way to be mad. And I want you to focus your attention and energy on what are you going to do when he's not hitting, instead of what are you going to do after he hits. We need to have some kind of ritual that involves words and a body motion for them to express anger the right way. We need to be practicing that. That's a good consequence. We're going to practice being mad the right way 15 times, since you had trouble with it just then. Isn't that a better way to correct a behavior? Let's do it correctly and do it a bunch of times, and then reward for doing it the right way. Thanks, buddy. Okay. So we're going to work on the I can try to column. Those are the good things to do with mad feelings. Is there anything that you'd ever do, Miles, that helps you when you're mad? Is there anything that you do that keeps the bad stuff that happens at a 5 from happening and gets you back to feeling better and not so angry?
I try to calm down.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I try to calm down. But how do you do that?
By trying to do just finding something else to do. So I won't
Good. Find something else to do so you'll forget about what you were mad about. There's lots of people that have a false belief about anger and aggression. They think it's like a hydraulic thing. The more angry you get, you've got to let it out in order to feel okay. It's not a valid model. The truth is, when you complain about what you're angry, when you scream, when you punch something, your anger gets bigger, not smaller. Your physiological signs of arousal go up and not down. It makes the episode last longer. And furthermore, if we're teaching somebody to punch a pillow when they're mad, what are we going to do when they don't have a pillow? Because then they're going to punch something else. So we don't want to go there. It is better to do something that is fun. That would be an activity tool. Find something else to do. Or sometimes, I remember one time when I made you stop playing the Wii because you were getting too angry. And you were, I think, 5. And you went back to your room, right? After you screamed at me a little bit and didn't want to give me the controller. Then you went back to your room. And I waited about 15 minutes and I went back there and I said, Miles, that's a really great thing to do when you're mad. Is go away from everybody else, get under your covers and squeeze one of your animals really tight. And you were still mad, so you went, ugh, at me. And I said, that's fine, stay in there as long as you want. And you stayed 45 minutes. So you're a pretty tough, stubborn customer sometimes. 45 minutes. But then you felt better and you came out and it was over with and we moved on. Okay? He's not hitting. Instead of what are you going to do after he hits. We need to have some kind of ritual that involves words and a body motion for them to express anger the right way. We need to be practicing that. That's a good consequence. We're going to practice being mad the right way 15 times since you had trouble with it just then. Isn't that a better way to correct a behavior? Let's do it correctly and do it a bunch of times and then reward for doing it the right way. I want you to make a visual list of triggers and wrong things to do with mad feelings as well as good things. If you've got a really young kid, what you can do is you can take a piece of paper and divide it up into thirds. And you can put a couple of the triggers to an angry feeling, and then you can put bad things to do with mad feelings. You can put like people punching with the circle with the cross or the X through it. That's pretty universal. And then at the bottom you can show good things to do with mad feelings. You can go swing in your swing, or you can go hide under your blanket in your room and maybe even show a picture of a reward that the kid can get for that. If it's a really young kid, then you can just show this picture when they're starting to have an episode, because remember, as they're getting upset, their ability to process words goes down. So if you can show them something visual as a reminder and say, if you can do this right now with those mad feelings, here's what you're going to get for it. I want you to teach problem solving with the use of inner language, and I want you to make a list of ways they can develop tools. I want you to make a 1 to 5 scale so they can learn to become more aware of those gradations and when they're getting a little bit upset before it gets to a 5 and it's too late. And I want you to be really watching for and reinforcing any use of gentle body or words, any being mad the right way. I can tell you're really mad, but you know what? I really appreciate the way you're letting yourself be mad without hurting. That is excellent. If you can keep that up until the big hand gets to the 12 or we start eating lunch, then you'll have 3 cookies when we're through with lunch or whatever. There's one other thing I wanted to say. It's good to have different categories of tools that we can use to manage feelings. Again, I can't emphasize the importance of and the value of the thinking tools enough. We've got to teach those thinking skills. Using your self-talk and your inner language, that is the key to all of your self-control, all of your ability to organize your behavior. And again, your thoughts are so powerful that they create your reality.